Yes.
So listen. There's three very, very exciting new quarterbacks in the AFC, and we've already talked for the last couple of years how loaded the AFC is, especially the quarterback position. So when you put the three new ones in, here's how it shook out. So I just put Mahomes in a division all by himself. He is in the Mahomes division. Then you got Burrow and Allen.
Yeah.
Then you got Rodgers showing up in New York, Lamar new contract, and Herbert. Then it gets really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Russ, after one of the strangest seasons ever. Deshaun ditto for different reasons. Then there's just Planet Jimmy. I just got him here all by himself. Jimmy is so original for all his faults and all his things by himself. Then you get this one. These are I kind of feel like they're still underclassmen, but they're growing up fast. Pickett, Mack, Tua, and Lawrence coming off a playoff win that was a very complicated playoff win. And then you got your rookies, Stroud and Levis and Richardson. So the 7 tiers of AFC quarterbacks, and everybody wants in. You at home wants in, and the people on the set here want in. So I want to ask you guys, I'll just tee you up.
Yeah.
Look at them, and it's obvious it's not scripture. These not on stone tablets. It's just me in my basement messing around. Which quarterback do you think I misranked? Who wants to go first?
Oh, we're going to do whiteboards. Do we?
Oh, look, we
get the magic. We don't just say it.
I think the first one is what? Misranked?
Who is misranked here? Who are you like, what are you doing with this one?
Misranked.
What was very visually jarring for me was not only seeing Jimmy Garoppolo on his own, but having Tua Tagovailoa be below him. And that, I was not prepared to have such a visceral reaction that I did to Tua being considered less than Jimmy Garoppolo. And I think Tua Tagovailoa is straight up misranked on this list. So Tua.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. I'm going to say Tua, but I'm also going to add in Trevor Lawrence. He really took off towards the back end of last season. And both of these two guys, Tua and Trevor Lawrence, led their team to the playoffs. So I think that alone, I would bump them up a tier, and I would have their beautiful smiles right next to Jimmy Garoppolo. So Tua, Trevor Lawrence, I'm bumping them up one.
Yeah, I'm going to say Jimmy was misranked. He should be higher. And right now, the people in the airports watching without any sound have no idea what's going on. So there you go. That's for them. Now they know what's happening as well. But I would put Jimmy. I would jump.
At 4?
I think he's. Wow. The sour taste in my mouth from the season last year that Russell Wilson had. I just don't think that Jimmy should be below him. I love the fact that he's by himself. Right? It's kind of a unique situation. The other thing is the Raiders really didn't. We thought, ooh, they're going to draft a quarterback high. Look at all the work they did in the quarterback. They wound up not doing it. I think they still believe that Jimmy could be not for the long haul, but the relative long haul.
This is why this is tricky. Jimmy's won some big games in which he's played really, really well. You know, Lawrence was the most popular response on Twitter about how could you have Trevor Lawrence there. I love him, like most of us do. I feel like last year was really his true rookie year because the year before they had Urban Meyer head coach. It was a disaster.
True.
Wins the playoff game despite playing terribly in the first half, then makes the comeback. So it's complicated. I got a lot of heat on Lawrence. Question number 2. Of all these guys coming into this season, look forward to 2023 season, who is most likely to jump up a tier, to go in the elevator, get in, maybe go from 6 to 5. Guys, maybe go from 5 to 2, whatever you want. Mike, what do you think?
Here's Trevor with an arrow to show you which direction he's going to go because this upcoming season, year 2 for him, is where quarterbacks really jump up. Wait a second. Jason McCourty just looked at me and said, can you count, dude? It's year 3 for him. No, it's not.
I agree.
That first year never happened.
I agree.
Doesn't exist. The Urban Meyer experience, throw it out. This is year 2 with Doug Peterson. They did a great job in year 1. I think they're going to be even better in year 2.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that because Trevor already should be in 5, and maybe he jumps up to 4. Maybe he jumps up to 3 in that category with those guys. I am going with Lamar Jackson. I have the dollar signs under it. He got paid. As I look at this list, I feel like Lamar has possibly gone through the most change this offseason. Obviously, Rodgers switching teams, but for Lamar Jackson, getting a new offensive coordinator, also getting some weapons, adding Odell Beckham, drafting Zay Flowers, the running game is what it is. I think Lamar Jackson has a chance to step up and get into that category with Burrow and Josh Allen. So I am going with Lamar Jackson on this one.
This flirts with the he better kind of category too, but the one that I picked that was going to jump was Russell Wilson. I don't think he belongs at 4 from a skill set standpoint. I think Sean Payton is an awesome coach, and there was a time that Russell Wilson would have been up there with the number 3 class. So I don't think it's going to be very hard for him to move up. Last year, for as much as we want to throw away Trevor Lawrence's first, maybe that's what we're going to say about Russell Wilson's first year in Denver. In hindsight, if you will, that was was such a weird year. The Nathaniel Hackett experience. Obviously, it worked for Aaron Rodgers, but that just means it might not have worked for Russell Wilson, and that's fine. Maybe he needed a guy, a leader, a head coach that was just going to have a bit of more of a heavy hand, if you will, from a leadership perspective. I have a general question at the end that I want to ask you about a very specific case, but going to the next topic.
Okay. I gave Russ the 4 ranking based on the body of work and equity. Last year,
he'd be down.
to Stroud.
I think Russ's jump would be to remain at 4 in the category that he's
Hold
in.
steady.
If he plays well, he stays there too.
I got you.
I'm going to give you a deep cut. I think this guy's going to make a jump. I like Kenny Pickett this year. Here's the question. What about when we go? Come on up to like the penthouse suite. What about one of these 2 guys making a jump? Is there too much distance between the penthouse and the penultimate penthouse? Could this guy do it? I mean, you have to win the Super Bowl this year to basically catch up with him. He's got too big of a lead, but that's always really fun to watch. All right, number 3. Of all these guys, we got 16 here, ranked from 1 all the way to 7. Are you enjoying the newly imagined 8A segment? We sure are.
Yeah.
Who of all of these is under the most pressure this season to win? Jason McCourty.
This season, I am going with Mr. NYC. Aaron Rodgers is all over the tri-state area, going to games, enjoying his time, didn't make it to the Met Gala. But I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers, we don't know how long he's going to play. He's coming to the New York Jets. There's a ton of expectations. He said that Super Bowl trophy is mighty lonely sitting there at the Jets facility. New teammates, a lot of newness going on for him. I think he's under the most pressure to go out there and win right now.
I'm staying there. Level 3, we're going to call that the pressure level. I'm going to say Lamar Jackson. Got you the offensive coordinator, got you the weapons, gave you the contract. And listen, in addition to performance, if you're aching late in the season, something's bothering you, time to play through it. Time to push through it. I don't want to see another 2-week injury turn into the rest of the season. It's like, my wife and I just purchased something. We'll put it to you that way. I'll keep it generic. And
is it a bag of golf clubs?
Something didn't work out with it, and it's like, well, we could take it in the condition. And my wife's like, no. We paid full price for this. We expect the full performance. Lamar Jackson, they paid the full price on you right now, and let's see it.
Was it a new wardrobe for you?
It should have been.
My wife and I just purchased a jacket.
Yeah,
and here it is.
And it didn't play, so I couldn't wear it, and now my shirt is.
Did that
getting
come
the
off like we purchased
seizures?
some kind of private jet or something?
I don't know what it came
No,
off.
I'm sure you guys got an air fryer,
Yeah,
Mike. That's what we're all
exactly.
thinking.
So I was gonna go Justin Herbert for this segment, but then I realized that I already dedicated a segment to him. And similar to what the Chargers, they have to do a little bit more for us to warrant talking about them, I think, all the time. So I'm gonna take the bait on what you just said, and I'm gonna say Josh Allen. I really am, because for as great as he's played, for as fun and good, and for as great as the Bills have been at times, and for the expectation that the Bills had last season, it makes this season a little bit uncomfortable, I think, when you consider what the AFC East has done, the changes that have been made, and the expectation. It's almost like, you know what, Bills, we gave you that shot last year. A lot of people had you in and or winning the Super Bowl, and you didn't follow through. So, Josh Allen, I think you got to do something here, because the way Burrow has played and put the Bengals in, I actually think he would make the jump a little bit faster and sooner than Josh Allen would. So I'm going to say Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, I think for us to be sitting in a year from now and say he's on the same level Mahomes would have to be the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to bring one to Buffalo. He's got to be maybe the regular season MVP too. It's fun though, right? We have all our little neighbors here living in the apartment.
Let me ask you about Kenny Pickett really quick. You really think that Kenny Pickett has done enough and played well enough to be on Tua Tagovailoa's level? Or did you just not want to insult him and put him with rookies?
Well, there's definitely some of that. This was the rookie level. And also, I am not as into Tua as you guys. I think that he has played some really good games. I think he's been hurt. I don't know if he carried his team to the playoffs, and I don't want to go negative on Tua, but I think he has a lot left to show, and I think just Pickett has ability. And this is kind of like the entry level here. Stroud and Levis and Richardson, we'll see in a year from now when we're doing it who the hell that is. But you guys know I like Pickett. I believe in the Steelers. I love the receivers he has. I think Pickett to Pickens is going to be a big deal next year.
Yeah.
It's not talked about because the AFC is so deep that a Kenny Pickett conversation comes at the 11-minute, 37-second mark of the 8A block. Start all the way at the top of the penthouse. Jalen Hurts. It was where Patrick Mahomes is yesterday. Now, listen, it's a much more tenuous grasp on the penthouse than Mahomes had because we have one excellent season. Down tier 2, Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins, I think effectively are like the same player at this point, so they're in together. Stafford, it's kind of like sometimes at the Oscars when you give it to someone at the end of their career just because out of respect for the body of work. He had kind of a de facto year off, was injured last year, but I think he's still there. Now we're coming down to tier 3. Derek Carr, Jared Goff, Geno Smith. Kind of like sounds right, right? I see a lot of heads nodding in the audience. You guys are, yeah, okay. Now, tier 4, some young talents. Daniel Jones shooting up the rankings. Justin Fields lost about 100 games in a row last year, but still impressed, and the Bears are loaded up. And then Kyler Murray, same draft class as Daniel Jones. This was thought an unthinkable draft pick. That's tier number 4. Come on down, and now we got a squat. Now, I had Baker by himself, but then I put Brock Purdy up there with him. This is Baker and Brock. Number 1 overall pick, last pick.
Nice.
They have both been in the playoffs. They have both won playoff games. Wildly different careers at this point, but have in the same tier. Now bring it on down. Now all right, here we go. Jordan Love, Desmond Ridder, and tell me who that is, Jason, right there. Sam Howell.
No, that's that's Desmond Ridder.
This is Desmond Ridder.
Not
right.
Desmond Ridder. That's the
That exactly. Jason makes my
the
point.
other one.
It's the alleged quarterback. Mike, get in here.
Sam Howell.
Sam Howell. Okay. North Carolina, plays with the Commanders now. And then all the way down here, we have Bryce Young, just because he hasn't done anything, is tier 7. So all the way from Bryce Young through Love, Baker, Jones, Carr, Dak, Jalen. That's what I got. Don't everybody thank me at once. Never tell me the odds. Mike, first question. What jumps out from this board?
Yeah.
Who did I misrank?
Yeah, yesterday, like I said, we talked about just a couple minutes ago. I fought for Jimmy Garoppolo being in tier 5, should have been higher because Deshaun Watson and who else was in that tier? Forgetting, whatever, regardless. I really had a passionate feel. I looked at it, bang, it's not that. Here, I went up and down this whole thing. Okay, maybe I had a lot of maybes. But you know what? Maybes. Forget about maybes. My guy nailed it right here. There's a lot of hate in this world. You're going to get a lot of replies from people saying, no, you out of your mind. You may even get receivers for some of these guys. There's a lot of hate in this world and on Twitter. I'm going to give you some love. You
Thanks,
nailed
buddy.
it. I like it.
Engagement.
Yeah, not a lot of hate on this list at all. I think you're pretty good here. I would say I would possibly flip these two based on last season, just as Daniel Jones was ascending. Derek Carr struggled a little bit with the Raiders. That would probably be one thing that I would say. And your explanation of Matthew Stafford makes sense to me here. Based off of last season, you might be like, all right, maybe it was tier 3, tier 4-ish. But if he can be healthy and get back to where he was, this is exactly where he belongs.
Yeah.
Where the year before he was teetering on being kind of up a tier.
It's all in the details because it's interesting, the Carr, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, inexplicably, has started more playoff games than Derek Carr, and he's won more than Derek Carr. So if you value that, it's a great body of work here. It just doesn't have those prizes at the end. Jamie, what do you think?
It's all in the details. What about the detail that I'm missing Trey Lance on this list? Like, you just didn't want to rank what potentially?
He got Purdy.
I know you got Purdy, but, like, that's the whole point about what incarnation is going on in San Francisco. That was my thought. I really kind of focused down here at the bottom half. I thought you stuck the landing on the top. We know next to nothing about these two gentlemen right here. So why you have them, really, I feel like we know more about Sam Howell than these two. I would put these with Bryce Young because we just don't know. We don't know what they bring. We don't know what they're about. The body of work is zero. So if you're going to leave Trey Lance off because we don't know him, then he should be at least ranked with those guys.
I'm glad you brought it up because probably a lot of people weren't watching at the end of the season. Ridder started. Howell started.
Yeah.
They both got a little action. They both just did fine as rookies. So this guy's completed 50 passes. These guys have done a little bit of dance. The question is, do you put Bryce up there with them despite not having taken a snap?
Right.
I thought about it.
Rookies in their own category.
I agree. And listen, I was thinking about Lance too. If you go to the official depth chart of the 49ers, that dude is number 1. So that's why he made the list.
Lance would have been right here.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
for real.
All right.
Next question. Which of these 16 quarterbacks, when we start playing this season, certainly when we end next season, is going to make a jump or a fall? Who's most likely to move, Mike?
Give me Desmond Ridder. I think he's coming up here, and I think the Falcons probably don't want me to say that. They kind of like that he's flying under the radar. They're not going to say too much. But Arthur Smith is a really good offensive mind. So the fact that this team really wasn't more aggressive to go out and get another quarterback tells me that they're confident in him. Offensive line should be better. They should be more of a balanced attack. You're adding Bijan Robinson. I'd like Desmond Ridder to shoot up.
Yeah, I like that. I think everybody in tier 6 is very interesting, and you're going to love to see kind of do they end up staying in 6 or moving up. But I'm going with Justin Fields. I'm going with him in tier 4, right there in the middle. like you said, he dazzled last year in some of those games where they maybe didn't win, but he was just fantastic. I think him obviously getting DJ Moore on the outside, them getting some of those draft picks in there, if he can get some better protection on the offensive line, he has a chance to move up into that tier 3 area where we see him start to become maybe a stud as a quarterback in the NFL.
With the emphasis on the word move, I think there's a lot of these guys who are going to hold steady. You know, like I think Stafford's going to do fine. He'll probably hold at tier 2. Kirk Cousins, fine, hold at tier 2.
Yeah.
I think Daniel Jones is going to move, but I can't quite figure out which direction it's going to go in. I think something's going to happen to him within this division where all of a sudden, like, I can't believe he coughed up 2 games to his division rivals, or he's just going to be spectacular and prove us all why he got that contract. He is not going to hang in the middle there. He is going to make us know if it was worth it or not to give him that contract.
I hear you, and let's talk about that. That sounds like a lot of pressure, Jamie. So the last question, 16 guys here. Who is under the most pressure to win this season? Mike Garafolo.
Go right to tier 5. Baker Mayfield. Frankly, you should be happy he's up there in tier 5, considering how things have gone the last couple of years.
Right
but
there.
I think last year he said he felt like this was his last chance with the Panthers. And here we are again, right? Still another shot, but dude, like, this is it. This is it right now. And I was really impressed with what he did with the Rams on short notice. But, you know, he's kind of being dealt a shorthand with the Buccaneers this year as well, because this is more of a regroup year for them. But, yeah, pressure for Baker Mayfield if he wants to keep this career going.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to say Jared Goff. He's a guy who is in tier 3. And I think he bumped up a tier with his play last season. But with them bringing in Hendon Hooker, I think that changes things for him, because now you're going into this year, and it's just like, I'm performing to keep my starting job. How long can I keep Hendon Hooker off the field? And can I convince them? We talked about yesterday, could it be a Jimmy Garoppolo situation where Hooker's traded at some point? That's going to be determined by Jared Goff's play. So to me, that's a ton of pressure to win now and get the Lions to the playoffs.
We had the same dynamic yesterday in the AFC where we had Patrick Mahomes at the top, 2 guys at tier 2, and we ended the segment with the question of what would it take for those 2 guys at 2, it was Burrow and Josh Allen, to move up. We're going to talk about that later in the show. So my eye went to 2, and the pressure that I think Dak Prescott specifically is feeling this season because of the storied absence that the Cowboys have had from an NFC Championship game. The other 2 guys, I think they're kind of made men. I think Stafford won a Lombardi for the Rams. That's great. You can do whatever you want the rest of your career. You did it that year with LA. Kirk Cousins apparently always a made man, no matter what happens. So Dak Prescott, I think you got to do something, because we just can't quite figure out what your legacy within the Cowboys franchise is going to be.
I love it, and let me take the Dak stuff and go over to these guys. Come here. Come back in. All right, on the spot. And Jamie, everybody, you have to win a big game. This one or this one? Who do you want, Dak or Cousins? Who do you want? It's a big game. You have to start one of them. Jason?
I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins.
You going with Kirk? Why?
I'm going with Kirk Cousins. I feel like Kirk Cousins has done it year after year of the regular season. It hasn't always happened in the postseason.
Trick question,
But there's just
isn't it?
something about Kirk Cousins that I like Kirk.
Well, it's a trick question because that's the knock on both of the guys.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, that makes it a good question.
So who? Yeah, it's a great question. I thought it was fantastic. I'll go Dak. I still believe in Dak. You know, we've got some folks that work here that are Cowboys fans who don't. I won't mention their names and put them on blast like that. But I still believe Dak's got a run in him.
Okay.
In the next couple of years.
Jamie,
We're
break the
looking
time.
at a whole game, not just one drive, one game,
One game.
a whole game.
One game.
A game.
4 quarters.
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
If it was a drive, Dak Prescott.
Really? Why?
I just think the whole body of work versus what I see in the personality from Dak Prescott and what he has done in the 2-minute drill specifically, Dak. But I'll do 4 quarters of Kirk Cousins.
4 quarters with Kirk Cousins. That's pretty good.
Surprised
to
you
me.
went with Kirk.
Jamie
Well,
has
I
an
like,
interesting
to your
relationship with Kirk.
point, regular season. What kind of big game is it? He just went generic big game.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm going Sam Howell. Never mind. Screw it. Guys, these are
North
the
Carolina,
7
baby.
levels of NFC quarterbacks. You know what's fascinating? Everyone is so much more passionate about the AFC quarterbacks. The stakes seem a little higher. So maybe everyone will not just tell me to get drug tested over and over and over.
The
But
tiers are different, AFC and NFC.
All right.